And he, you know, I know he's going to watch this. He's not going to like that.
Did it pause for a second? That was weird.
I say this, and he's probably sitting out there. Truthfully, as I got to know him, I realized that I had more gifts, that mine were more expansive, that my gift of hearing was sharper.
You mean gift of hearing the spirit?
Yes, gift of hearing the spirit. So there's different hearing gifts and sight gifts, different types of vision. Sometimes people can see it in their mind's eye. Sometimes they actually see it with their eyes. Sometimes it's more like on the crown of the head.
What the hell happened?
Depends on what the visionary gift is. And I have all of those. Chad, the way he described it to me was...
Guys, what the hell just happened? What the I never touched it. Never touched it. All right, well, that was the weirdest thing that's ever happened in the entire time we've ever streamed. What in the world? All right.
He would look down like when he was writing a manuscript, and he could kind of see it in his mind's eye, like through his third eye, is how he described it to me, which is different than how it works for me. I usually just see it, and I can see multiple dimensions.
So if he is a vision...
Sorry, the live went off and then turned back on and then went off. That was weird as frick, bro. That's never happened. It just started a new one. My bad, guys. All right, now I'm going to be back on here. I don't know how that happened. That was weird.
Why didn't he foresee all of everything that's happened?
Right. I can't answer that for Chad, but I can tell how it works for me.
Did you foresee any of this?
I heard that, how do I explain that? I did not foresee, and I still have not seen exactly what happened to Tammy and the kids. I'm being blocked from that. The Lord tells me that is for my protection, and that I am being...
Yeah, I think we got punched. I think we're getting punched and kicked. So now we have part 1 and part 2 of this cut right down the middle for you guys. I'm so sorry. Probably lost so many people. I have no idea what just happened. That was horrible. So yeah, I've never had that happen to us in the history of this time where it just cut a stream and stopped. So yeah, anyway. All right, guys, let's keep going.
Unveiled more, so we're all veiled, and there's not a single visionary on the planet that sees everything, right? Because you still have a veil. Even people that have these amazing gifts that seem like, you know, they can see, you can't. That's not how it works. You get bits and pieces. You might get a flash, you might get a scene. Every now and then it looks like a video, but there's always pieces missing. And then you, based on your own belief system, which can often be false beliefs, you put the pieces together to make sense of what you're seeing. And it's the same thing with the hearing gifts, right? And you have to learn to discern, is this coming from the light side? Is this coming from the dark side? Because they can imitate. Satan has a counterfeit for everything. And he has his spirits that pretend to be the Lord, or pretend to be Joseph Smith, or pretend to be whoever, right? And they're very good at mimicking. And
how could you not discern it? That's my biggest issue with it.
After being and reigning on this planet for thousands of years, they have mastered body language, energy. They can, you know, there's this false belief that the adversary can't read your thoughts. Well, they can read thought energy, and depending on how smart that individual is, because they have their ranks, right, of their, they have their, I guess you could call them their minions or their entry-level infantry type soldiers, and then they have their lieutenants and captains and generals that are more skilled, that rise in the ranks, and they're taught and they're schooled, just like we have on the light side with our light warriors.
This is the plot of Star Wars. Am I wrong?
And so depending on who you're listening to, or what your gifts are, and what your belief system is or false belief, or if you have impure heart energy, which every one of us has because we live in a telestial world, and we have imperfect DNA that's been passed down, and there's a lot of factors there. When we have any kind of impure energy, like lust or pride or ego or arrogance or vain ambition, which is, and I'm not casting stones at Chad, this is literally what the Lord's told me, that is what his downfall was, is that he was looking through dirty filters. And the adversary can implant false visions and can implant false thought energy and make you think.
So hold on, so Chad is actually a good guy, but because he was messing around with certain things, he looked through a filter through his supposed other eye that caused him to have false visions, and then Lieutenant Satan and Satan's minions came back to fight the light guys, but you can fall to either good or bad. I'm having a hard time.
that it's a light warrior or the Lord, or sometimes you think it's actually your own voice. And it goes both ways with light or dark. Does that make sense?
Didn't you say that you had a vision that the kids were safe?
So yes, but I've been unveiled on some more of that.
Tell me about that.
I was told the kids are safe, and I saw them in a room, in a house, with this beautiful furniture. There was like this couch, and there's like these wicker chairs, super bright, big windows. Through the window, I could see palm trees and ferns and beautiful tropical. And then out the window, it was like a beachfront property, and I could see the beach, the sand. And then they showed me a scene where the kids were at the beach, and Tylee was with them. And there were other adults in the room. I could sense them and feel them, but they didn't show me who they actually were. Well, then they showed me Chad and Lori in Hawaii at the beach. The room I saw was different. I would see them at a resort, and then I saw them in some other room, but I couldn't tell exactly if they were in the same room. So I made an assumption, fully admit, that I assumed they were all together, okay? Well, it wasn't until, I don't know how long after, that 3 or 4 weeks or something after I came out with my first podcast, I said, the kids are safe, and I...
Because of your vision that you have with nobody to check it, just your thoughts, that you see something in your eye. Like I can imagine myself doing the Vince Carter dunk in my brain. You went on a podcast and said the kids are safe. Do you see how reckless that is? It's reckless. It's not an apology. It just shows you that you can't trust yourself to be in that position.
I see them in Hawaii and they're all at the beach or whatever. That then I started learning some more things. And the Spirit said, you need to like listen better. You need to, there's some other things you need to learn here. And then the scene changed, and I saw Chad and Lori still at the beach and mostly at the resort, but they were going different places. I saw them on the island of Lanai, and I was told they were there just a couple of days, and I still saw the kids at the beach.
They were having pictures taken of them. So how did you could have just went online.
But I never actually saw them together. And then I saw the kids in another room, and I started picking up. So at first, the emotions, because I'm an empath, on both sides of the veil, I can sense energy and the feelings and emotions of people. And I was contrasting it because Tammy, for 3 weeks, was overjoyed and happy, and I saw a big reunion for her with all her ancestors, and they were like so happy to have her home. And that was for about 3 weeks while I was seeing the kids in a good place. And Charles was in this darker dimension.
You're fucking nuts. Yep. Yeah. Everything you said is nuts. And now Charles is in a dark dimension. So you're affirming this. You're literally affirming the same thing.
And he was depressed, he was upset, he felt betrayed, he felt guilty and shame and all these negative emotions that I often see when people are in a spirit prison type situation. And he was sitting on this old wooden chair in a corner with no lights on. There was like a dim light coming through, and he had his hands like this and just not in a good place and very...
What the hell are you talking about? Do you hear yourself? Do you hear what you're saying?
concerned about his kids, concerned about what had happened to him, concerned about Lori, lots of negative emotion. And I would talk to Charles and try to work through it with him. And he was not ready to talk. It was like he was in a state of shock about what was going on, and he was trying to process, because we're the same people on the other side of the veil when we go into spirit realm as we are here. Well, then time goes on, and Alex dies, and I see Alex, and he's in an even darker dimension, like way darker than Charles. And so I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing and the energy as the story is unfolding, as more evidence is coming out. And the emotions I felt from Alex, when I would try to talk to Alex, like Alex wouldn't even talk to me. He was so angry, and he wanted nothing to do with me. He just was so angry. And he felt betrayal, a lot of anger, some hatred, frustration, lots of shame. So I was trying to make sense of that.
Do you hear her? Do you hear the stuff she's trying to say that she's seeing? Let me tell you something. No, as somebody who's ever even heard about this case could literally say any of those things, because those are pretty normal human emotions if that were the case. Do you hear her acting as if this was like factual?
In the meantime, more stuff's coming out. All that was starting to happen about the time you did your interview in Hawaii, where the cops found them for the first time. Mm-hmm. It's about the time frame. in that amount of time, things shifted like that. And in the meantime, I'm talking to the kids' spirits, and they feel abandonment, betrayal, heartache, sadness, sorrow, forlorn. All
No, the fuck you're not. You're not talking to the kids. What is with you guys and this thought that like Tylee and JJ are leaving heaven to come to you to talk and conversate with you? Converse, sorry, to all my Grammarly people. I mean, seriously.
these emotions, abandonment was coming up huge, 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 huge. And I would cry myself to sleep. I would talk to the Lord and I'd ask him, what do you want me to do with this information? Am I seeing this correctly? How can I help?
Yes, okay, she's talking about Charles. She said she saw Charles in a dark realm, in a wooden chair, facing a corner with like no light on him, with his hands on his head, rocking, and he felt anger, shame, betrayal, guilt, all these other things. And then she also saw Alex. So by Julie Rowe saying that she's also putting Alex in a dark realm and saying that he feels betrayed, Alex feels this way. This is kind of like the AI interview that was going to be done with Alex. Do we really want to get into that? It's all, you know what it's all called? Stupid shit. You don't know how Alex feels. You don't know what he's going through. He's not alive anymore. So why is everybody trying to pretend like they know where he is or what he's feeling? Or AIing it? Stupid shit, bro. Come on now. Think.
Is there more you can tell me? And I'm asking these questions. And I can see, and I see this in spirit realm a lot, but I can see there are veils even in spirit realm, and there's doors and access points and gateways, and you actually have to progress into the light. Sometimes you have to have an escort that lets you in, like if you go from like what they call spirit paradise, prison to paradise, there's actual doors and portals, and they will escort you in, or you have to have permission to come in. And people can try to sneak in, but they don't make it very far. And
What? Where is this in your Bible? Do you understand what I'm trying to say right now? Where is any of this congruent to like what's in the Bible? None is where I'll tell you.
the light can go down to the dark. The dark dimensions can't come to the light, because just from a scientific standpoint, those energies can't coexist. You know. Well, the kids were then in this. It was a different room. It was a different house, and I could see one of the bedrooms. Most of the time, there were no lights on, and I could see Tylee laying in a twin bed, and she was just kind of like curled up in a fetal position, crying, and the lights were off. Sometimes I could see a dim light. I don't know. It looked to me like a moonlight, but I think what they were communicating was that, that she was in a different place spiritually, and I just trying to make sense of it. Well, then JJ, it went from Tylee watching JJ to some other adults watching JJ, and I could see them, and I could see a woman, but I couldn't see her face. I could just see like the outline of her spirit. And then I started going, wait a minute, are they in spirit realm?
This is the most out of pocket thing I've ever heard. I don't even know what to do with myself here. I don't even know what to do with myself. Okay, so perfect example. I had a bad dream last night. And this is probably because we're watching all this stuff and I don't want to get too graphic. But I had a dream last night that I was investigating Alex and Lori. I've always had these dreams. And in my dream, I was trying to figure out a way to figure out how to tell everybody what Alex and Lori had done, but I needed proof. So I was in the car with them, and in my dreams, they're always like very mocking of what they've done. And they're just very like laughing, like they always make fun of it. It always breaks my spirit while I'm dreaming. And then at the end of the dream, we asked where JJ was, and Alex pointed up. We had like parked in a garage, and I remember I was still looking at the cars, looking for evidence, and I looked up and I saw a bag, and Kay was with me. She like came out of like I don't even know where she was, because she wasn't in the car initially, but she came over and she grabbed the bag, and I don't want to say what was in the bag, but it was traumatizing. But do I think that was a spiritual realm? Do I think that God gave me that dream? Do I think that means something, that I portaled and had a vision of what actually might have had? Like, no, this is not just Looney Tune. This is scary. Okay. There's bad dreams there. I understand that there's spiritual vision and stuff like that, but like, this is not, no, this is ridiculous. Somebody needs to say it. This is nuts. I don't even know how Nate's sitting through this. My jaw would be on the floor.
Did I,
So
did I
you
get
didn't know
this
they were
wrong?
dead or alive.
At that point, I couldn't. And then the Lord started explaining to me more about the veils in spirit realm and how they are veiled as well from seeing sometimes what happened on earth. And he said Tammy was veiled for 3 weeks from what happened to her. And we unveiled her last night, and she now is able to see what's happening on earth with her kids. And with Chad, she now knows that Chad married Lori very quickly. She now knows that her kids are suffering. But the first 3 weeks, they just were like, oh, they're doing good. And she's over here having a good time reuniting with her family. And then it was time for her to shift and kind of get back to, helping with her kids. And the way it's explained to me is that part of her mission now that she's on the other side is to help her kids on this side to work as a ministering angel. And then
On what authority have you been given to ever say stuff like this? Like what are you operating in where you see all this?
they would show her some of the news reports.
Tylee was in a dark room. Charles was in a dark room. Guess where they both were? Tylee and Charles were in darkness with Alex Cox. That's according to Julie Rowe. And she said on a podcast that she knew they were alive because she had a vision of them on the beach with Chad and Lori, and they were in Hawaii. Even though all of that stuff lines up with the timeline of when pictures and things were public. Great timing.
Because even in spirit realm, they can watch what's going on earth if they have permission, right? And Lucifer will show them his versions, right? And
Not right.
the Lord
Stop saying right. No, wrong. Hella wrong.
Show the true version of what's going on. So even this interview, there are people from the other side of the veil watching to find out what I'm going to say, what you're going to say, and this will cause shifts in people's energy, either to encourage them to go further into the light and to get further truth, no matter where they are, whether they're on the earth or spirit realm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense how Lori got to where she got. These books, the Julie Rowe 5 books, it's starting to make a lot of freaking sense.
One of the things Melanie Gibbs said is that Chad would often, and even Lori sometimes would like predict something was going to happen or have a vision.
Yeah.
But then when it didn't, it would change because of people's agency. Couldn't you make that same argument with anybody that says they're a visionary that,
all
right, the earthquake didn't happen, it's been pushed off.
Yes.
So then doesn't that...
Exactly. Oh, there was supposed to be a major earthquake today. Well, there was, and then you look up on the news. Oh, there was a 1.1 over in California for 30 seconds. Oh, it happened, just not where I said it was going to happen, but it happened. It's probably going to rain somewhere. It's like the biggest blanket you've ever heard.
Somewhat invalidate the original vision?
Well, here's the thing, how it works again, they've explained to me, because I've been criticized for that very thing, more than Chad, because I'm the one that first came out with the term Wasatch Wake Up.
Which is
the
the
Lord
earthquake.
himself gave me the term the Wasatch Wake Up years ago. So anybody on the internet or anywhere else that refers to Wasatch Wake Up, that was given to me. I coined that because I was given that. I asked earlier, there will still be a Wasatch Wake Up.
She wants a lot of validation. She wants you to read her book, and she looks for validation. And I'm going to get my personal psychological breakdown just from what I'm observing. She probably struggles with being seen in identity. And so what sounded fun is to have a big purpose, because what I'm seeing a pattern of people who are unhappy in their life and with what they have, and they so then need something drastic to happen to like offset the fact that they don't like their life. Even though your life is a lot of times, what you do with it and what you make of it. Even if you have horrible circumstances, you still have to respond and make a life for yourself. It sounds like this whole fantasy thing that they're all in love with has to be coming from that place. That's just my personal opinion.
Timing is what shifts, but also circumstances can because of agency, but that does not necessarily invalidate the vision. It just means you can also have false visions. Okay, so very clear, Chad was getting false visions. And maybe, we can do another interview if you want some time or whatever, and I could go into why I know that, because he shared a lot with me, and that was, you go back to when we started to go the other way, our paths diverged because of more and more of what he was sharing with me that I didn't agree with, or that I saw differently, or that I heard differently, and the Lord would say, don't tell him what you know. Just listen, serve as a witness for both sides of the veil, and flesh the energy, because it's going to come
My gosh. This is stuff's clicking for me today. I don't know about you guys. Infamous truth teller says she's a couple short of a staircase. I don't know what to say. And thank you for your chat. I can't believe that wow. I don't have words right now.
circle later. And I didn't even know what that meant. I just knew I was to continue my friendship with him, continue to work with him, and find out essentially what exactly he was involved in and what he believed. And even when I came out and said in the first interview I did on the news, where I came out so strongly and I said, listen, I know Chad Daybell, he's a friend, and he would not hurt those kids and he would not hurt Tammy, okay? Because I could not fathom in my mind that the Chad I knew would do that. The Lord had made it very clear. I had seen a vision and was told for over a year that Chad was having an affair with Lori. He did not know I knew that. I never told him that. But I knew it, and I got confirmation when I saw the news, right?
It wasn't even a year. Because everything happened by October before they got married. And it was all public. You're acting like stuff wasn't public, like they weren't seen early in the year in Hawaii by themselves by the next year. So they got married in November. Oh, she's saying from 2018. Oh my gosh. So stupid. I don't believe you.
I had no proof of it. I was just going strictly on what the Lord had shown me. But to go from going, okay, I know a guy who, messed up and had an affair, to killed his wife and killed some kids, like I couldn't make that leap.
Can you now?
She did this before June 5th, and they were found on June 9th, and she just said killed kids. Both of these interviews happening before anything happened.
What do you think now? What happened to Tammy and the kids?
I don't know. I just know it hurts. And I know that Tammy continues to ask me to speak whatever truth I do know. And I know that when I look at Lori and
That's so not okay to bring Tammy into it. Don't say anything about Tammy. Tammy's not talking to you. Let's leave everybody their words that you're making up in your brain to tell everybody, tell the world that this is what Tammy wants. Just shut up.
countenances, their auric layers, I can see auric colors, their entire countenance have changed. I see hard hearts. I see gray. I see a lack of light in Chad's eyes. They're dulled over. I feel their pain, but again, when I key into the emotions and when I know what Chad has done to me on a spirit level in the last year, I don't trust him one bit.
I'm going to stop for a second. Elizabeth said $5 and said, for asking NASA to look into extra planets. I want to know where all these planets are, man.
He has betrayed me and Tammy, really Tammy the most, and his kids, and lots of friends and acquaintances.
It's okay. His kids loved Lori for a short time, apparently.
Everyone that read his books, everyone he, published, he's betrayed a lot of people. And when I have asked, and I'm not saying this, people are going to say I'm judgmental. I don't mean it like that. But when I see this and I ask sincere questions of the Lord of how did I not see this coming, because you asked, could I see it coming? Mm-hmm. They prepared me the best you can be prepared. I had glimpses, I had insights. I did not have a lot of the big pieces to the puzzle. The day I found out Tammy died, I had a vision and I saw myself on the news. And I was told and I heard Chad's going to be accused of murdering Tammy.
Why the fuck would you be on the news then?
I did not know anything about the kids, but I was told a month before she died, Chad will be accused of murdering Tammy. And the day that she died, when Emma told me that her dad said they weren't going to do an autopsy, I had a physical reaction. I felt like my heart just sunk, and the energy inside of me, I'm very sensitive energy, just went right to the pit of my stomach, and I actually got physically sick.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking normal. That's not a special gift. When you hear news and you hear that someone died and they won't do an autopsy and you get a bad feeling, that's not sensitivity to fucking energy. Let's just be real with it. My gloves are off with this lady. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you guys. I'm not sorry to her. I'm done with this. This is stupid shit. I've never heard anything like this. Yeah, the rambling the turning it back to spiritual, the me, I, special powers, all these stuff. It's like, it's just all the same exact thing that they all wanted. This is how they all talk. It's all just narcissism. They're all just they're a group of narcissists that puff each other up like balloons. That's what it sounds like. Jersey Shore Living, thank you. Davis, LA, coming in. Appreciate you guys.
Nauseous and almost threw up. I cried. Also because of some of the other things Emma said, because she said what she was most afraid of was that her dad was going to get remarried. And then the Lord started telling me some of the stuff Chad had said to his kids, some of the stuff he'd said to Lori.
Were they lies?
I think Chad believed them, but they are lies.
But you think he truly believes them?
I think he really does. But they are lies.
And we were talking off camera a minute ago that you haven't reached out to him because you don't feel that it's right to do that right now?
I reached out after the funeral.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The first 3 weeks. I texted him. I offered him some free sessions to help him through his grief.
Did he respond?
What sessions? No. What sessions does she do? She sure throws up a lot. Oh my gosh. She sure throws up a lot. Yeah. That's all I've heard this whole interview. I had to run and I threw up. I had to run and I threw up. I had to run. It's ridiculous. Now Mary came in again, more swear jar. Appreciate you guys. It's coming out.
No acknowledgement. No.
And meanwhile,
I told him I was sorry. I waited until Monday after she died because I didn't want to, on the first few days, on the day of the funeral. I had talked to him on the phone 3 weeks before that, and the Tuesday before she died, he texted me because he had told me 3 weeks before she died that he would contact me after potato harvest because Tammy was off of work, they were gonna have some time together as a family, and he was gonna get back to work after potato harvest. And I said, okay, that's great. I have so much to do. I work a lot, I'm busy with my family. And so that's what we decided is sometime after potato harvest. Well, I was out of town in Idaho and Utah for a work trip the week she died, and I had to go to San Diego. I was actually teaching a group energy class in San Diego the day.
That's it. She's teaching group energy. Get out of her class. I'm sorry. I don't wish for anybody to not be able to make a living. But if you are teaching this crazy shit to other people, you need to be checked. No. This is not something we want to spread.
She died, but I was prompted on the Tuesday before she died to send him a text. I can't remember if he texted me and see if I could talk or if he tried to call, and I never gave him my schedule, but that day I was prompted to tell him the basics, and I said, I'm in San Diego Saturday, I'll be back Sunday, I'll be in the Provo area Monday, and then I'll be flying out Wednesday because my son Ethan is coming home from his mission. And I look back on that now because the funeral was in Springville on Monday night, and I was staying 10 minutes up the road. And I never heard a word from Chad or any of the family. The day I talked to Emma, I talked to her at 1:30 Utah time, 12:30 San Diego time on the 19th. She sobbed her eyes out. I talked to her for 40 minutes. I basically gave her a session. And I had a visual of Chad right when she said,
oh my gosh, this should not be being taught. This is not something to teach people.
what I'm most afraid of at the end of that 40 minutes is my dad getting remarried. And I said, why is that? And she said, because he's talked to me, I know about multiple probations, and I have a problem with polygamy. I'm not okay with polygamy. And that was a huge red flag for me because I was like, okay, multiple probations is a true doctrine, but whatever he's told.
No, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Where are you getting? Okay, let's just use logic, okay? Here we go. Let's use logic. Let's use the logic of the cult, okay? Very simply, you come to earth one time. When you come to earth, the whole point of Jesus Christ was to take on your sin so that way you would know, you would be able to, if you believe in him and cast your belief on him, that he paid for your sins. If that happened and then you went back, because you already had a pre-mortal existence. So follow me here. Pre-mortal, you come down, you're veiled, you go back up after death. Why would you do that 30 more times And again, that's why they were getting to that doctrine of, oh, well, we don't need to repent because we're higher beings, because we've been here 30 times. We've been married a bunch of times. We've had a bunch of different lives, a bunch of different faces. So that means everyone here, a bunch of people are just reuse. It's just recycle. Hey, it's your turn. So then that means, what about the covenant you made originally in the premortal existence? Did you agree to 40, as the contract say 40 times? Like, does that make any sense? And does Jesus even apply to you anymore? Apparently not, because you wouldn't need that. So a lot of this is insane. And the fact that you speak with such conviction is even worse.
His kids and whatever he believes is false doctrine, because it's not polygamy. And I didn't know what he was planning or what he'd been involved in, but I had visuals of him communicating with a lot of women through text or phone call. I knew for sure he'd had a relationship with Lori, but I didn't know beyond that, with other women. So it was like a really big red flag for me. And right when I started to talk to Emma about it, I had a visual of Chad, and he came over and grabbed the phone out of Emma's hand. And she hurried and said, "I love you, I gotta go, my dad's here." Click. And then I saw him tell all of his kids, especially Emma, do not respond to Julie Rowe's text, her emails, or her phone calls. And I've never talked to any of them since.
There have been people online, I'm sure you've seen, that have thought there was something more to your relationship with Chad. Was there anything more than just a professional relationship and a friendship over the years?
It was always professional until October of 18, when he, as far as I'm concerned, tried to groom me, just like he did Lori.
Tried to groom you, you said?
Yes. And my husband's aware of it. In fact, it was about a year and a half, I look back, when my husband started saying, "Are you sure you can trust Chad?" And I go, "Yeah, I can trust Chad." I'd had so many spiritual
experiences.
How many spiritual relationships? This is where that whole let me shower with you in the spirit comes from.
Experiences with him related to the books that I did trust him. I'd always get this hesitation, and I'd ask questions of the Lord, and I'd say,
I thought you had visions. I thought you're veiled and you got other planets, but you can't see a dude's got an intention because he wants to get with you. It's a little hard to believe.
Things, because he was always trying to get me to use my gifts about things I saw in the future, and I'd usually just kind of listen or go, I don't see that. Every once in a while I'd say, "Yeah, I still see the earthquake." He'd try to pin a date down on it, and I'd go, "It could be this spring, but
Could be, could be next year, could be in 10 years. I'm telling you, there's gonna be an earthquake.
One of the interesting things another author told me the other day is that she had a near-death experience. She said Chad never talked about his with her. And after we posted that, many people said that maybe they think Chad saw this author getting attention and you getting a lot of attention, that maybe he came up with his own near-death experience.
No, I know he legitimately had them. They were very quick. They were not extensive like mine or Suzanne Freeman's. They were a matter of a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes at the most. The one where he was knocked off the cliff.
Imagine. So basically Chad's like, that's so Raven. He just gets but they have long ones.
Firsthand from him and from Tammy. Tammy was there to witness it.
Okay.
And also some of his other family members. And then he had another one where he was attacked from the dark side, and his spirit left his body and floated up in their house in Rexburg. And all of his kids were there and his wife, and they kind of had to bring him back. And he called me the day after it happened, and he was very emotional. Kind of did a session for him to help work through that trauma. And the next time I went to Rexburg, I was
I'm sure he's not smoking something. This is all sober. No drugs.
At their house with Chad and Tammy sitting on the couch, again, affectionate. He had his arm around her leg, arm around her, holding hands the whole time. And the kids, at least four of their 5 kids were there talking about it. And they were like, "It was so crazy." He was just out, and we thought he was dead.
Okay, so you had heard him. You don't think he made him up?
I know he didn't make him up.
Do you think
Yeah, the hell he did. He literally made that up. You're telling me he's sitting there and he just goes like this and pretends that he just can't move, and then he finally comes back and he goes, oh, I just saw there's going to be an earthquake in Utah in 5 months.
been deceived?
I know he's been deceived.
And Lori as well?
Yes. And I was told very clearly from the very beginning, basically to have nothing to do with Lori, Zalema, Melanie, and Melanie. They tried to contact me a couple different times, tried to get my phone number. I was just told, again, because I did see some stuff, and I do have the gift of looking into the past if they show it to me, not everything. And I just saw convoluted, messy energy. I was told that.
What does that look like? There wouldn't be a time where I didn't have follow up on every single sentence she's saying. It would be the longest interview you've ever seen in your life if I was doing this.
There's abuse energy for all of them. I just was like, and I don't give my phone number out. I deal with security issues since 2014. Very careful with who I let have access to me. And
Yeah, why do you have security?
since going public with my story, I've just had death threats and a lot of security issues. Creepy men, again, just.
I thought you could foresee all of that. You're like Palpatine. I have foreseen it, my friend.
I mean, I've called the cabal out, and they've threatened me 3 or 4 times. So
Are you worried for your life?
no,
No.
I used to be. Well, I say it last night when I was under attack and I felt like they were going to kill me. I cried to my security on the phone who was helping me through it, and I said, I don't want to die.
The security can't stop a spiritual attack. Okay. This is just, it's getting so out of hand. This is where freaking Woombi Zuma Duma D came from.
And then this peace came over me, and it was, you're not going to die. We've already told you you're not going to die. You know, I'm not worried. You know, Chad has gone around, and some of the sources that have talked to me have told me that he went around at least from January of 2019 telling people that I had gone dark. Right around the time that I called him out on Lori and his communications with others, and on his patriarchal energy and how he had been treating me and how I felt used by him and all that, and how I wasn't okay with some of the things he was involved in. And that's when he cut me off. That's the real reason we had a falling out, is I called him out on it, and he didn't like it. And I have proof of that.
I just want to go ahead and say, just so we're clear, just so we're all clear here, because there's a lot going on here. She has said that Chad is who he says he is, spiritually gifted. Everything has been right, only he started to veer off. She's affirming Chad's gifts. She's affirming everything about Chad, only that he took a dark path and became dark, basically, by her assumption. So just so we're all on the same page. That is the realm of reality we're living in.
Text conversation I've actually sent to Justin Lum. So, and I was told specifically by my angels to document that and save it for my records. Chad has no idea. Yeah.
He might now.
He does now.
Yeah.
He's listened. So, and that's about the time I know for sure he went around telling people I was dark, when he was sending those lists to Lori saying Charles was dark and all that. So then I'm like, okay, well, so am I next on the hit list?
How'd you know it was a hit list? How'd you know that? Because this is before they even found the kids. It's so weird how Melanie Gibb spoke about the kids being gone, and Julie Rowe, they speak as if it's absolute fact before they found them. Just saying.
Maybe.
There were a lot of people, that were worried.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about energy healing. Some have said that it's dangerous.
Yeah, some people say multiple probations is dangerous, and it's not. What's dangerous is when people misuse their spiritual gifts, and when they can't tell the difference between what a true doctrine is and a false doctrine, or they mix it.
I hate to break it to you. There is not people coming back and forth. This is not a grocery store. You're not coming back 50 times to shop and then leave. I don't know where you got that from, bro.
The true doctrine of multiple probations is a pure doctrine of light. But when you have unclean spirits or demons who are whispering things to people, and they have their own lust energy, vain ambition, pride or arrogance or ego, or other and jealousy energies, an impure heart, they get convoluted with that energy, and then they twist and turn the doctrine. The actual pure doctrine is light. So reincarnation is a false doctrine because there's a counterfeit. There's counterfeits to the multiple probations, and one of the most disgusting energies I've seen is what Chad did with the knowledge he'd been given. He was given this much knowledge, and he tried to make it into this much knowledge, and most of this is gross.
So you do
So she's affirming there's multiple lives. This is where Lori got it. This is clicking on all levels now. So this is the person, this visionary. Why must I perform? This visionary, this vision, she gets the visions. She knows about multiple lives. It's all true. But Chad Daybell, he screwed it up. He took it and he went the opposite way. Where did you get that from? Please point out where your facts are about your multiple probations. Please. Reincarnation and multiple probations sound exactly the same. What is reincarnation? It's coming back to life multiple times. What is multiple probations? Coming back to multiple lives. Okay.
energy conferences, energy healing conferences, and people come and you're able to, spend
I teach
hours.
them.
You teach them. What is it?
So I do different types of energy. You can do craniosacral. You can, massage therapists do energy work. Physical therapists do energy work. When you listen to uplifting music, you're giving yourself an energy session. If people listen to my podcast, they're designed to help you.
That's the third plug, bro. That's the third plug for herself. My gosh, bro. Come on, stop plugging yourself. Damn, we're not going to listen to you.
Their energy. When I talk on the phone, I can see the energy of the system. I can tell if they have health issues, mental illness, porn addictions, drug addictions. I can both hear it or see it based on gifts I have. Most people don't have the same gifts, but that's how I do it. And I do more of a talk through, I don't tell people's future because I think that crosses boundaries. And again, the future is fluid based on agency, but there are certain things that are kind of set that we agree to primordially that will happen at some time if we stay on our path. But the way they describe it to me is there's like plan A, B, C, D, E, and F based on agency, And if anybody's ever studied the Mandela effect, people can look into Mandela effect when it comes to agency, things like that. So with energy work, like if I were to give you a session and you're on the phone, because most of my clients are out of state or out of the country, I would be on the phone in my car or my house or wherever, and then you give me permission to connect to your energy and to see what I need to see or hear, and then I would ask you questions. I'd basically say, okay, what would you like to work on today?
Nice.
And spirit to spirit, you might tell me, you might not want to say it out loud, but I generally try to get the client to bring it to consciousness. It clears energy faster. And then we might talk through, the abuse you had when you were 6. Or
You're not qualified to do that. You are not qualified to bring up abuse. Energy work, like you said, and those other, like the things that I've ever heard of energy work and defining it from what I've seen, there's multiple ways, but it's more in the realm of like, I don't even know. I don't want to misspeak, so I'm not going to, but we all know that there's like different things, right? At the end of the day, you don't energy work and be a therapist. If you're not a licensed therapist, you don't talk about people's stuff. If you're not a life coach that has training and knows how to deal with situations like that, oh man, that's wrong. That's freaking wrong.
Situation you're going through, or the porn problem, or whatever it might be, to bring that energy to the surface of consciousness, and then we would actively work, and I would say, okay, listen, these are the energies that are coming up, the trapped emotions, and we start addressing things on an emotional level. So the same thing when people go to counseling, it's just that they're going to a different type of schooling. So when I'm talking to them, I'm kind of like a counselor. That's kind of
I see. That makes sense. So this is your job. This is your profession.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I see. So are you giving God's will to them through you?
No, I don't do that. I don't know what other energy workers do. But I fought for agency primordially. I fight for it every day. And there are certain boundaries that are established by the Lord that you just don't cross when, in terms of agency. So just because I see it.
Just for the people that say, if she is the visionary, why does she charge money?
Just like a counselor.
I see. Okay.
What the frick is
That
this?
makes sense. So this is your job. This is your profession.
Yes.
Hold on, stop.
I see. So are you giving God's will to them through you?
No, I don't do that. I don't know what other energy workers do. But I fought for agency primordially. I fight for it every day. And there are certain
How are you fighting
boundaries
every day for agency? You literally make a choice. You already have it.
that are established by the Lord that you just don't cross when, in terms of agency. So
Who's that? Peeped you quicker than a hurry. Who is that guy?
just because I see it.
Just for the people that say, if she is the visionary, why does she charge money?
Just like a counselor.
I see. Okay.
Are you a counselor or not? You can't be a counselor and not be a counselor. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Now there are different types of energy workers, and the occult does abscond this. The occult version of light work or light energy work is witchcraft, warlords, Wiccans. That's the dark version of energy work. And there's a light
That's what you do.
version to everything and a dark version. And there is a gray area because some people, again, misuse that power, misuse their gifts, or they're deceived.
I thought you said there's light and dark. How is there a gray area? I didn't hear gray. I heard light and dark. I didn't hear gray. I heard that there's either you're good or you're bad based off of what you guys believe. Yeah, this is dangerous, bro. This is not okay. You should not counsel if you're not a counselor. Unsafe.
But the way I liken it, because I said this, to Nate Sunderland when I was talking about how I want to do this interview, I said, here's the thing, some people have said, This is dangerous doctrine with multiple patients. Energy work is dangerous. So do we throw the baby out with the bathwater? If I know the gospel's true, and I believe, for instance, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has some of the keys of restoration, but I also know that there are stake presidents and bishops, or even members of the 70s, who are involved in satanic ritual abuse or other forms of assault, rape, or molestation. Do I just not go to church anymore? Do I just not go talk to my bishop or my stake president? Do I just say I want nothing to do with any of that because this
They're doing
is
what?
corrupt
How do you know that?
in this form? You see what I'm saying? And I say no to that. And I've been excommunicated for teaching.
Oh shit, she got excommunicated? Oh, I wonder why. Julie, come on, bro. You know what you're saying. Like what you're saying, and so here's LDS and here's you. You got to be able to see it. It's you can't take offense to it. I'm surprised they actually took action against you.
And doing the energy work and doing my podcast and my books
Because it's so not LDS. I'm not even defending LDS, but you have to still stay in your lane. You still have to stay in your lane and understand this is not LDS teachings, period.
they do not like the work I'm doing. But I also know there's a higher purpose in why I was excommunicated that I saw and was told in my near-death experience and my vision. So I'm at peace with it.
So your actions don't get you excommunicated, but it was predestined that you'd be excommunicated for being a good person. Do you see how it's always so selfish, right? Like, oh, I didn't do any, I did my stuff, but because I did what I was supposed to do, the church got pissed off at me. But isn't the church the true church doing God's will? So you do God's will, but it goes against your church. So do you see it's back to self, always.
I don't like how it was. But you don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater and say it's all bad. Anytime I hear someone say, that's dangerous, there's fear energy at the core. And you have to get to the root emotion of why the fear energy is there. What was the trauma that happened to them that created the fear energy so that they just don't want anything to do with whatever that is? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's a lot of people that look at Chad and Lori and think,
I have no idea what you're saying.
I don't want anything to do with what that is, as you just said.
And I agree, I don't either.
Yeah, but they might lump.
But you just made on a tangent about the baby in the bathwater. So why'd you say that? That contradicts it. Shit. I'm going crazy, bro.
You in with them
And
or
they
other
are.
people associated with this type of preppers,
Right.
conferences, events, things like that, where wouldn't it just be best to just,
Avoid the whole thing?
Yeah, avoid the whole thing. Yeah, go to church on Sunday,
Yeah.
do your personal study at home. If you have these visions and spiritual prophecies, keep them to yourself and your family, or you end up with 2 missing kids, dead spouse, dead brother.
Right. Okay, the contrast to that is that's what some people really should and could do, because that's maybe what they're ready for. Maybe that's what they agreed to primordially, what they are wanting in their spiritual progression. But there are others so we have the plan of salvation, we have the plan of exaltation. And why anybody would need to know, for instance, about their past lives, I can't answer that for them. I just know I've had memories of it my whole life. I had 6 NDEs. Every time I come back, they say, okay, this is part of your mission to testify of this truth. I cannot deny it. I have the emotions that go with it. I have the visuals that go with it. I have been shown over and over again.
I think it's emotions. It's just this emotional thing. It's like Lori. Lori never told anybody publicly that she had died when she was giving birth to Tylee and then had a near death. She made that up after she started reading these books, and then she saw that Chad had one. So she said, oh crap, I got to go back in my lore and make up a situation. But I just was awoken to this. I didn't even know this happened to me. They're just making it up.
In order for me to clear my own energy, I sometimes have to acknowledge that I went through a trauma 600 years ago in another past life before the pain in my gut will go away.
Get the fuck out of here. I might be done, bro. I can't. I might have to stop. Like 600 years ago. Shit. Ooh, that's something. I can't say that with a straight face, dog. Ooh, that's good. I can't, bro. I can't. If you ever ask me what's wrong, I'm going to tell you, I'm messed up. 600 years ago, I was... You can't say that. You cannot be serious. Look at Nate's face. Oh, that got me too. That was so out of left field. Oh, whoo, that was good. I needed that. I needed that in my life. I'm still fucked up. 600 years ago. Stop it, bro. Why would it matter if you have a new life? You wouldn't be traumatized for. That means Chad and Lori have trauma 31 lives worth. Come on. Oh, okay. Ooh, that one turned me red.
And people have all this energy manifesting. If you have spiritual pain, mental pain, emotional pain, it will often manifest as physical pain in the body. And if you are having physical symptoms, that's your first clue you have energy that needs to be cleared. Something in your energy field that's distorted, whether it's a miasm that's been passed down through the family line or something else. And so when somebody says dangerous anything, you have to get what's the root cause? Well, the adversary uses fear to keep us from progressing. He did it primordially, does it now. And so you can. Some people want to just avoid it. And that's okay. That's a good coping strategy a lot of the time.
It's not a good coping strategy. Actually, it's part of the grief trying to get away from it. But if you're denying your trauma, that's not a good coping strategy actually at all.
In and out of that, and even in the grief process to waking up. But it was Lucifer in the garden who said, I see your eyes are not yet opened. And so waking up, opening our eyes is a very...
Here we go with this matrix special vision, you don't see what I see thing. I'm not saying the spiritual realm isn't real. This is what she's saying is so made up it's not even funny.
Very painful process when we open up to truth. We have to acknowledge that we've been betrayed on this planet. We have to acknowledge that we're living in a matrix. We have to acknowledge...
She said it. She said it. She said it. She said it. I can't say anything else. She literally used the matrix, bro. I just said that.
That there are lies and false beliefs and post-hypnotic suggestions everywhere we go. And until we can admit to ourselves, and I would say even out loud to other people, that we don't know everything and that there is more for us to learn, and we can push through the fear and say, even if it hurts, I will get to the root cause of why I feel abandonment, why I feel betrayed, why I feel angry, why I feel hurtful, why I feel discouraged, why I feel despair, why I feel depressed, why I have abuse energy. You have to get...
Do you see what I'm saying? I told you, I read it like a book. She has these issues with herself. And so something about her, with all of this stuff, she didn't know how to deal with her feelings and her emotions. And so she took this idea of spiritual awakeness and being this important person and needing this huge mission and this important commission and have to be this person. I'm so special. I've been alive for all of it comes from this place that she's talking about. But also then teaching a bunch of crap, lying to people, talking to them about their abuse, probably getting them to open up. This is some Jody Hildebrandt crap right here, and it's unacceptable. You do not get people to actually open up and try to work through themselves and be better people and be an absolute nut and just screw their life up and get them to talk about stuff when you don't know what you're doing with that information.
And that's what I do for my clients is, let's get to the core, right? Did this start when you were 3?
What about 600 years ago? How do you know what if you just said you have trauma from 600 years ago? What if someone's here on their 15th life and their trauma's from 800 years ago? But you can't bring that in, right? So now we have to make something up. You don't see it.
Start in primordial world. And for a lot of us, I would actually say
anybody could you be traumatized in heaven?
On the planet, we carry spiritual baggage from a very, very real premortal war that is still going on around us in multiple dimensions in spirit realm. Not just when we entered into the fall with Lucifer, but when there were the Elohim wars and Lucifer fell, as did many of the others that are on his council that were all members of Elohim that turned dark. And just by me saying that, it will trigger people emotionally, and we will have people sobbing, having no idea what I just said and why I said it.
Is anybody sobbing? There's 1,200 people here. Are you guys sobbing? Okay. Just checking.
Said it. And then it will start to surface. They will start to wake up. They will start to deal with the pain in their heart that they brought with them to the earth. that then attracted other energy, because that energy
That would just set you up. God would be setting you up for failure if that were the case. And you're veiled by the LDS standard. The LDS church believes that once you come down from your premortal existence, you're veiled, meaning you don't remember what happened. So why would God leave trauma in your soul, in your baby soul, for you to grow up with trauma from the premortal existence, not know why you're traumatized, and go through your whole life? Okay.
every emotion is at a vibration, and it attracts that same vibration. So if you come to the earth with betrayal, and you find yourself in a relationship, like, again, with family members or coworkers or spouses or whatever, and you're like, why do I always end up in abusive relationships?
Because you picked the wrong people. Because you have issues. That doesn't mean it was from the premortal existence. I'm going to lose it right here. Angela said, with all the supposed visions in this cult, none of these wackos know that they are batch crazy. Exactly. They can't see themselves. They can't see themselves.
On 3 times. Like, why are these patterns following me? And then that gets into patterns. Something else that's been discussed is patterns, and what patterns are of the light, of the Lord versus not. And I would just say that Melanie's description of the patterns is partially complete. There are more patterns that she's not aware of. So there is truth in what she said, but it's incomplete truth.
Do you miss your membership in the church?
Yes. Kind of. I am...
When were you excommunicated?
April 9th of 2019.
2019, so a year ago.
Mm-hmm. A little over a year ago, yeah. It still hurts. I love the Lord with all of my heart. I love Father. I love Mother. I love my family.
This is sounding a lot like Lori, bro. It's actually really getting crazy. There is also, and this is just a fact that I've heard as of more lately. This is not anything I ever heard growing up. I mean that. I did not hear, growing up LDS, I did not hear that there was a heavenly mother, but I've heard a little bit more into like the mainstream that now I think the LDS church, more people are saying that they think there's a heavenly mother. So that's what she's referring to. She's talking about God, who they say is Elohim. I don't know if that's in the Bible, to be honest with you. I'm a little rusty, but then there's a mother, a heavenly mother, and then obviously Jesus, and then the Holy Spirit. But yeah, so that's who she means. I love Father, I love Mother. That's who she's referring to, is heavenly mother.
I will do anything for them. I know that I was called premortally to do this work, that I'm still being called to do it, and that I accepted, and that it comes at cost. I also know that in the book of Isaiah, it prophesies of the last days, the book of Revelations, 2nd and 3rd Nephi, and the book of Mormon, book of Joel, of where we are in the last days prior to the Lord's return. And I witness and testify that he is coming in my lifetime. I don't know when. And that I am just supposed to help prepare the way for that and to prepare my family. And it's very painful what the church has done to me and my family. It is, and I've been through some hard things, but it is the most painful thing I have ever been through.
Yeah, but why? You know the rules. So if you go off and write books and do public podcasts and you're representing the church, but you're absolutely outside of the scope of what the church believes, how could you be hurt by that?
I'm going through.
Do you still go?
Huh?
Do you still go to meetings?
Well, no, they got COVID.
Well, you're right.
No,
Yeah.
I have home
Pre-March.
church with my family every Sunday.
You still
Yes.
read the scriptures? Do you still
Yes.
believe the Book of Mormon?
Yes.
And do you believe the 12 apostles and the first presidency?
I know that we've been infiltrated.
So by Julie Rowe's standard, the Mormon church has been infiltrated in the highest ranking,
I know that
which is the prophet who leads the church, who is supposedly called by God to run the entire church. And then there's the 12 apostles are under him. And then there's the quorum of there's a system, but the pinnacle person is the prophet.
Meaning some?
yes. Mm-hmm.
You believe some of the leadership of the church?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I know that the Lord is still working to guide them, and I see us going into apostasy in the church. I see the church going into apostasy. This is what pains me. This is what pains me the most. They can excommunicate me, but it pains me to see them aligning with global elites in the UN. It pains me to see that they're teaching some false doctrines. But again, it's all been prophesied. It's all been planned for. I saw this, almost 16 years ago. It was spelled out to me.
This is there's a lot of emotions going through my brain. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to feel. This is serious mental illness, if I had to call it. It's a lot like Lori. This is not spiritual stuff. Because God gave us the baseline. We have the Bible to refer to, and this is all unbiblical. Very.
I saw it very clearly. I've seen it over and over and over in day and night vision to prepare me, and hopefully to help prepare other people that this is what's happening, and this is why, in part, we will have the tribulations, and why there is and will be a cleansing and a sifting. So I see the bigger picture, at least some of it, not all of it, right? Pieces of it, but enough to give context and to still have hope. That is why I named my first book A Greater Tomorrow, because we have amazing days on this planet. My message is not doomsday, far from it. My message is we're going to go through some really hard times, harder than we've ever had on this planet, but when we rise above it and we get through it, this planet is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be so light and so bright and so glorious that people can't even imagine. And they've given me the consciousness of that energy. And it's the same with my excommunication, right? That degree of betrayal, I get the opposite of that in the light, the comfort from the Spirit and the calm and the level of peace in my heart. They can falsely accuse me all day long, whether it's the church.
How are you being falsely accused? You have a public platform where you're saying all this shit. Where's the accusations? They're literally listening to what you say and how it doesn't align with anything that the church teaches. It's so stupid. It's not an accusation, dog.
Or people online or people I've met or whatever, right? That betrayal, I'm pretty used to betrayal energy now. But when they affect the people,
you need some rational energy. Here, Palpatine your ass.
I love, which are my friends and family on both sides of the veil that are being lied to, that are being manipulated or coerced or controlled or abused in any form of fashion, no matter what the institution or organization is on either side of the veil in any dimension. That is when war is declared in my heart. And the best way the light side combats the enemy is to spread love and light. And the Lord continues to tell me that my greatest weapon is my heart. And as much as Lucifer wants to try to turn my heart
This is not Lucifer's fault. You gotta wake up. You think you've woken up. You haven't woken up. This is the opposite. You're still dreaming. You really need to get, oh man, you really gotta figure this out.
By people like Chad Daybell, I refuse to let it happen. Because the Lord continues to give me peace and tell me that my heart is my greatest weapon. And what that means is...
No.
When
your heart is actually the most deceptive part of you. Because your heart is your freaking emotions. I'm upset right now. So if I'm saying things when I'm upset, it reflects my upset energy. Okay? And my energy is going to be different because you can see that I'm frustrated and upset with this interview. And so my heart is upset and in pain and all these things. That's what's coming out of me. So you're telling me when I calm down, my heart is now going to be in a different state because of where my mind is. Your heart is actually the most deceptive thing about you. Following your heart is actually the worst thing you can do sometimes. That's the whole point of trying to not lean on your own understanding. This is all of her saying it's all of her understanding. She's the only one that understands. You see the danger. Do you see the difference? This is why you got kicked out, because there's nothing about what you're doing or saying that even aligns with the church itself. But most of all, it doesn't align with Jesus Christ at all. I don't think that I don't think that this has ever been, I don't know. People aren't checking her enough, apparently. Or if you ever say, hey, I think that you're kind of going off the rails, it'd be opposition, just like Lori. Oh, you're a non-believer. You're a non-believer. It's like, okay. Nate's face. I didn't even see Nate's face.
Love, and I continue to serve and give, then I can help fulfill part of my mission and my promises to my brothers and sisters that I made eons ago, which is to open and heal the hearts of the children of men. That is my mission. I'm supposed to warn and testify and all that, right? Do the energy work.
No,
but it really
you're
at
not.
the core is to help open and heal the hearts of the children of men.
You need to heal your own heart first. That's the biggest thing. You just said you have all this trauma, you have these things. You also have to be a full cup to pour into other cups. Empty cups fill nothing. You need to deal with your own issues before you ever become a counselor, before you ever start helping people. You need to deal with your crap. And obviously you're not willing to do so because you think this way and you're teaching this, and this is dangerous. This isn't just dangerous doctrine. This is dangerous all over the place. This is pure red flags.
So that people, as we go into the dispensation of the gathering of Israel, people can have their hearts opened and softened to be receptive to the Lord's gospel so they can go into the light, whatever degree that is. So that when I see Charles, and hopefully he's listening, he can know.
So Charles, by her definition, needs to come to the light. So Charles is from her in darkness, and she's going to hear him. Now, he's listening, though, right now.
It's going to be okay. Have faith. The truth is going to come out about how you died. The truth is going to come out about what you did to try to help Lori. The truth is also going to come out about how he mistreated her sometimes. And if he can push through his fear on that, then he'll move more into the light, right? And if Lori and Chad...
What? This shit is nuts. You are freaking out of pocket.
Can humble themselves and look at where they went wrong or where they are going wrong and how they can correct their own energy, and hopefully then that has a ripple effect.
Julie, that's what you need to do. Look at all the stupid shit you're bringing up, people's spirits. You don't know what you're saying. You know how unbelievably disrespectful of what you're saying is. Apparently, maybe you do, but you need to deal with your own shit. Instead of going on and on and on and on about absolutely nothing. This is one of the most insane I've ever felt.
And it really starts at the heart. And that's no different for Alex, right? If he is guilty of murder, well, we know he has killed someone and that's got grievous consequences. But even those who murder or commit suicide, there is hope. It is not over. There is still repentance.
Where? I don't understand that concept. I don't understand that.
Does that make sense? And that's a
No,
false
it doesn't make sense.
It's been taught that, if you commit suicide or you murder, you're just damned forever. That's a lie. Lucifer would like you to think that because those are some of the guys he recruits the most. He gets them to the other side of the veil and they pounce and they shame, and then they're like, it's over for you, man. Christ will never accept you. You're never gonna be able to go to the light, let alone the celestial kingdom, so you might as well serve us. You can rise in our ranks. And it's a load of crap. It's just not.
I can't. I don't know. If I were Nate, I don't know how I do it. I don't know how I do it. I don't know. That's the face. I think you just have to allow it.
True.
What do you say to Chad?
I say, I love you, Chad, and I'm really, really sorry.
Here comes see. It's always the same thing.
I never want to hurt anyone. Just by speaking out in the last several months, it hurts
Yeah,
people.
that's the most dangerous doctrine I've heard. This whole thing, man. This is such dangerous doctrine. All of it. All of it's unbiblical. All of it's untrue. She didn't say one thing that was even close to relative of anything I've ever heard from the Bible.
But he's hurt a lot of people, and I hope that he will hear me, that I'm not doing this from a place of vindictiveness. And Tammy has asked me to try to wake him up.
Don't bring her into it. Don't talk for the dead. That's disrespectful. It's a freaking lie. Just stop.
Has asked me to speak the truth. The Lord has asked me. I want him to know that he has betrayed Tammy terribly, whether he thinks she came to him or not and told him to marry Lori. That was a false spirit.
You're a false spirit. What are you talking about? Do you hear what you're saying?
He is deceived. He has been deceived. If he can clear out his own impure heart energy and humble himself and get back to at least some of the man that I believe I met in 2014.
You said he made advances on you.
That was more humble, I don't see humility now. I see, like I said, a hard heart.
I'll give you $1 million if she doesn't bring up her podcast or book at the end of this interview.
Walls. There's more I see about curse energy and some attacks that have been very physical that have come directly from Lori and Chad as a result of me speaking out. And I want him to know that I'm aware of those, and that the only way I've been able to clear that when I have been physically attacked and had visuals of him involved with some of those in Lucifer's council, the only way it's cleared is when I have acknowledged to those practitioners who are helping me through that, and I've actually said out loud, I see Chad Dable wearing this. I see Chad Dable doing this. And then the energy will clear from my system and the attack will stop. And Chad knows what I'm talking about. And whether it was a conscious thing he did or not, some of it has been.
Can you imagine having wars through your brain and all you do all day is just have wars, but it's all mental. It's not spiritual. It's just mental. You're just making up stuff all day, every day, 24/7.
And some of it's been in spirit realm that he might not be fully conscious of in this body. But at the root of it, repentance. Acknowledging selfishness, acknowledging lust energy, acknowledging that he's been deceived, acknowledging that he is hurt and is hurting his children, acknowledging that he's made mistakes and that he is not the Davidic servant. He and Lori are not the Davidic couple or in the Davidic presidency. They never have been and they never will be. They have been deceived and used by Lucifer to further Lucifer's plans. And
that's what you were going to say to him?
He does not have a mission or a role working with the 144,000.
She's because she knows.
Not translated. They are not on track for that. What they are on track for right now, unless they repent and stop what they've done and correct the energy, is a path of continued destruction.
Wow.
And it's not too late for them or anybody else within the sound of my voice to see the light.
Within the sound of my voice.
Julie Rowe, thank you.
I just want to say a few things.
Here we go. He said thank you, trying to end it. She's still going.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I appreciate the work of those working on behalf of the light side, wherever they are. For the light warriors, for the ministering angels and the guardian angels, who literally put their bodies on the line every day for those of us in mortality. I love all of you. I love our family. And when I mean the family, I mean the entire human family, wherever they are, because we have a lot of worlds involved, right? This is a big universe. And we are in the winding up scenes in the last days, and Christ will come. And he'll do it in my life. I am 48 in January. And I just love people. And I will expose darkness at all cost. If people think I'm crazy, that's okay, but I would ask that they would take anything I have said or anything I will say or anything I've written and just ask the Lord. Don't take my word for it. Take it to the Lord and ask him. And if it's making them uncomfortable or if it's hurting them, get to that root core emotion of why they feel that way, why they're not ready to hear it. And then instead of just outright rejecting, just put it on a shelf and you can keep it.
Do you hear what she's saying? Don't just reject it. Once you get the feeling, though, once you feel sick in your stomach over my words, don't reject that. Put it on the shelf. Put it on the back burner. Let it marinate. I want you to just don't take a snap judgment.
On the shelf for 100 years.
100 years, dog. We don't have that long. Fuck are you on? We don't run 600 years old out here.
When you're ready to bring it down and address it again, do it. There's no rush. This is an eternal plan with an infinite atonement. And I respect agency, and I just hope that we can show more love and kindness to the people that are around us, wherever they may be. Sending my love out to everybody.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Goodbye. Dude, I really don't know what to say. I have to say it. She should not be helping anybody doing anything in any remote way, shape, or form. That was just not what I I don't even know what to say. I don't. I'm just going to say that I love you guys. I appreciate our community. That was a doozy. That one made me cringe multiple times, literally. And I'm just, yeah, I love you guys. We're going to be back on Monday. And like I said, if you guys have any more suggestions that you want to go through before we go to closing arguments and kind of finish up and wrap up. I know I did react to this video a long time ago with Ray and Rob, but I haven't gone back to that, so I don't really remember too much from it. Yeah, so maybe we could just do some more stuff before we actually end the trials, which is fine with me. It's like that gave me so much context though. Like I cannot lie to you. That makes so much sense. So much of what Lori has said is directly tied to Julie Rowe. And it just makes sense. I don't know how else to put it. It's out of this world. It's 100 worlds and a billion different energies away from anything that I can conceive. I must be dumb, and that's okay with me. I'd rather stay dumb than be there. Mary says, stay awesome, Colby, and thank you. Of course. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Yeah, so we're going to, if you have suggestions, put them in the comments. Email me at askcolbyj@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I will see you guys very soon on Monday. And depending on what you guys want to do, maybe I'll put out a poll as well. So maybe look for the community tab. I'll put out a poll and you guys can tell me what you guys want to look at or watch together. Other than that, thank you mods for everything. And also thank you so much, guys. Really do appreciate you. Love you and see you soon.